Hey y'all, it's Ellie. Thanks so much for tuning in again to my video blog. I appreciate you being here and being part of this. It's so cool. I'm really excited for you guys to be part of it. So, last week was video number 6, which I talked about the moment that I knew I was meant to work in basically music, but specifically country music. So this week for my 7th video, it's gonna be probably my deepest video thus far. And I'm talking about my faith and my country music connection. Now, my faith has grown crazily just within the last 6 to 8 months, but over the last 2.5 years basically. But so when I was growing up, we used to go to church on Sundays, and we would just go basically, as we call it, where I go to church now, check the box. And it was just a routine. Like, we didn't build really relationships with anybody in our church, and by the time I was in middle school, we basically stopped going. So I hadn't gone to church in a really long time until January of 2015. So fast forward to 2014, I was dating this guy for a few months, and relationship started off really good, and we were doing great, and we seemed to get along. And then, you know, after the honeymoon phase got over, I kind of saw a side of him I didn't really like. But July 3rd of 2014, I found out I was pregnant. Now, anybody who knows me knows how much I love kids and knows how much I want to be a mom. I've always wanted 6 kids. That's crazy, right? No, I've always wanted 6. It's been that number since I was in at least 8th grade. And I have nieces and nephews that I love very dearly and I'm very blessed with. But I found out I was pregnant, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I get to be a mom, and this is going to be great. August 1st, 2014 was my first appointment with the OBGYN, and they didn't have a heartbeat for the baby. The baby had stopped growing about 6 weeks, so about a week after I found out, the baby just stopped growing, and I'll probably never know on this side of eternity why. I have an idea, but I don't know if that's God's reason for it, so I'm okay with not knowing. I've made peace with it. But that was the hardest season of my life thus far, because someone I knew got pregnant right after me, and it was hard because I found out like 2 weeks after, and it was really hard for me to accept that I wasn't going to be a mom, but they were, and I didn't understand why. And I still really don't understand, but that's okay, because now it's one of my nephews and I love him very much. So I was in a really dark season. I was just starting this new job that I wound up not liking that much either, and I just didn't know what I was gonna do. I was really lost, and yeah, I can't believe it's been almost 3 years, but I just didn't know what I was gonna do. I was in a dark place. I literally felt like I was in this dark storm with like waves crashing and like starting to drown me, and I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know how I was gonna get out. So about a month or 2 after this, when I was at this job one night, I was able and blessed with the opportunity to be able to listen to music during like my shift, because it was later at night, not a lot of phone calls at the job I was at, so I got to listen to music, and this song called Do It Like This by Chase Rice came on, and I looked at my phone. I think I had everything on either an iPod or my phone I think I had an iPod. And I looked at my iPod and I was like, what is this music? I have never heard country music like this that's so rowdy, and just, I didn't know, and I wanted to know more about it. So I started listening to Chase Rice more, and that's why in my second video, when I talked about my influences and my inspirations, Chase Rice is on there because of that moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I really like this guy, and I don't know, I've never heard anything like this before. So he's my absolute favorite artist. I'm very blessed to have met him twice. So Chase, I hope you watch this at some point, and just know that when I looked you in the eyes when you were here in Omaha last time, that I really meant what I said about wanting to work in country music because of you. So fast forward a couple more months, and one of my cousins, who I very dearly love, was lovingly pursuing me to go to church, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to go, let me do it on my own time. And finally I went. January 18th, 2015 was my first time back at church in years. And anybody who's a football fan, I'm a very big football fan, and it was the Packers-Seattle playoff game where the Packers lost and didn't get to go to the Super Bowl that year. And I was so sad, because that's all I focused on after my miscarriage was football and anything else besides that. So I had a nice one-on-one moment in front of the entire congregation with my pastor, and I still talk to him about it, and he still knows exactly what I'm talking about. Excuse me, but it's just, country music has had a big part in my faith, and before I ever walked back into church, it just gave me hope. Basically, country music, I mean in music in general, but country music saved me before Jesus saved me. And that's an amazing testimony for me to have. March 1st was when I dedicated my life to Christ. I got baptized, like I said in the last video, June 27th, 2015. I did rededicate my life to Christ November 13th of 2016 because I got off a track and I just was rebelling like crazy, and God's so cool and so patient and is just willing to answer your prayers. When you ask him to show you he's real, he will show you, sometimes in a very real way, that he's real and he's God. And he saved me from basically a life-ending car accident in October of last year, and ever since then it's been radical what he's done to my heart. I'm so thankful for that. I asked him to show me he was real, and he did, and I'm so thankful that he did, because if he hadn't, I don't know where I'd be. I definitely wouldn't be planning this trip to Nashville. I wouldn't have the confidence that I have in planning this trip to Nashville, knowing that one way or another God's either going to confirm that yes, I did hear his voice almost 2 years ago saying that this is what I'm meant to do, or that I misheard and I'm hearing my own voice. So either way, he's going to come through. I know it. But faith and country music are basically my two biggest, my two biggest passions in life. I love music in general, but country music is definitely my home genre. So that's why I'm so passionate about it, and that's why I have so much music on my phone that I'm listening to, and it's just awesome. I'm so blessed by God to love music and have this love in my life, because there's so many different places I can work in an industry loving music. So yeah, I thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am so thankful for it. I'm so glad that you guys are watching my videos, and I hope you're getting inspiration, and I hope that this just speaks to you. If you don't know where you are in your faith, I just really hope that this speaks to you, and that you'll find a church. You can start checking out churches near you. I hope that you get plugged in and get connected and get to have that one-on-one connection and a relationship with God that I didn't have for so many years, that I can't believe I missed out on. So yeah, thanks guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Next week is video number 8. I'm so excited. I talk about bullying and what I've been through with that, and it's gonna be another really deep video. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you'll check back on my other videos if you haven't watched, and I hope you'll stay tuned in. Thanks guys. Have a great week.